All right, thank you for either renting from us or considering renting from us. We obviously live in one of the most beautiful areas in the country up here in Flagstaff, and we're lucky enough to be buttoned up right against the Kaibab National Forest, which you can see behind me. We get a lot of wildlife, deer, elk. I've seen some antelopes from time to time as well. But we also have a nice 1.7 mile trail that's really easy to do. It's great for the whole family. It's fairly easy to follow, but I wanted to put this video together for you so you kind of see some of the twists and turns. So there's no chance of anybody getting lost. So let's go ahead and do the trail. Walk right off the property into the forest, and the first thing we're going to look for is an old forest road, and we'll stop when we get there. And like I said, every time we got to make a turn or something, I'll stop and let you know where the turn is. That way, there's no chance at all for anybody to get lost when they do the hike. All right, so as you can see, the Forest Service was in here recently, did a lot of thinning of the trees, which is great. That helps us with forest fire prevention. But this is the forest road. You can see kind of starts back here and it curves off to the left. So we're going to follow that now. This is like the beginning of the trail. So this is the first intersection. You can see off to my right, the forest road goes that way, and off to my left, the forest road goes this way. We're going to follow it off to my left here. And behind me, you see kind of a little mountain or a hill. The trail basically goes up and around that hill and comes back around. It's a big loop, and we're going to end up right back here. So this is the only little hill in the whole trail. Like I said, very easy for the whole family. But once we get to this top of the hill here, we're going to be at a little aspen grove, and we're going to stop there again because that's going to be our next turn. All right. Almost every tree that you see back here on this hike is what's called a ponderosa pine. This area of the country has one of the largest stands of ponderosa pine in the entire world. But what you see back here, those are called aspen trees. And if you're lucky enough to be hiking here in the fall, they get like a really vibrant yellow. They're awesome out here in the fall. So anyway, they put up a big fence around the aspens to protect the little saplings from deer eating them. So that's why you'll see this fence. And the next part of the trail is we're basically going to follow the road right along this fence and up and around to the other part of the trail. And we'll stop up there when we get there. So we have two sections of aspens. We're at the end of this section here, and we're not going to follow the fence around to the right. We're going to scoot over to the other section of aspens and follow that fence. All right, so we reached the end here of the second section of aspens, and this is where we branch off from the fence. And it gets a little bit more difficult to follow the trail. But if you look off to the left, you can see a little bit of a trail going into the forest there. That's where we're headed next. So we are about halfway through the hike at this point now. So we're gonna head into the forest here. There might be some areas like here, the trail looks pretty obvious. There might be some areas where it's not. But as long as you keep that little hill that I talked about earlier off to your left and you kind of see it through the trees there, you know you're on the right track. All right, so now we've come all the way around the right side of the mountain, all the way around the top of the little hill. You can see it off to the right here. This is kind of the highest point of the hike. And now it's kind of all downhill from here. So we're going to head down the left side of the mountain and come back around to that T, finish off the loop where we started everything off at. There's a little mule deer on the hill there. Definitely keep your eyes peeled when you're hiking for all kinds of wildlife out here. All right, so we are now at the bottom of the hill. You can see it off to my right here. And we're now at another area where they've planted a bunch of aspen saplings and they put a fence around it. Um, you can see some of them in here. It's not as many here as there are at the top of the hill. So now we're going to follow this fence down to what's called a tank. It's like a little pond where a lot of the animals will come and drink from, and then we'll stop down there. We're getting pretty close to the end. All right, we're at the end of the fenced-in aspen area, and you look a little off in the distance there. You can see the depression. That's where the pond of the tank is. So we're going to head off in that direction and pick up the forest road again. All right. So this is what we call the tank. It's just a little pond. A lot of elk, deer will come and drink out of this. Got some friends in the background there. You can see a few cows. Arizona has what's called free range grazing. The cows are allowed to go wherever they want to graze. You'll see them on our property sometimes in the summer. So go back there right now. We're filming this in mid-September. You can see a lot of yellow wildflowers after we have the summer rains. A lot of wildflowers pop up. It's really beautiful. So we are on the forest road that we started on again, and it's easy to follow from here on out. We're going to take this back to the T where the loop started, and we'll stop again there. All right, so we're basically back where we started the loop anyway. We're at the T where the forest road meets the two that go off in either direction. We went that way, came all the way around this little hill, and you can kind of a little bit see the cabin off in the distance there. It's a straight shot back home. All right, so we are back at the cabin. That's the whole, I said 1.7 mile trail. Super easy to do for everybody. Dads, if you got a baby, slap on a baby backpack and you can hump that baby around that hill, no problem. I've done it myself many times. Um, you can see why we love it up here. It's just beautiful, a lot of natural beauty, great for checking out of society for a while and just being one with nature. If you want to see wildlife, I think your best bets are to do it in the morning or like at dusk. And if I'm totally honest with you, I did pay that deer some money to show up during this hike, so we had it on camera. No, I can't guarantee you're going to see wildlife, right? But there is a lot of it up here. So for those of you that are currently staying with us, I hope you get to do the hike and enjoy it, and you enjoy your stay here. And for those of you that are thinking about staying with us, what are you waiting for? Click that book button, come up here and enjoy everything this place has to offer. Thanks a lot.